Attending Discover has always been pretty helpful for us. This is our fourth Discover that we've come to, and we get a lot of information, especially either at those breakout sessions and then additional information when we get to talk to the product people that are actually on the floor. So although we like our salespeople, it's always nice to be able to just whiteboard or deep dive just with simple questions at any of the booths. So it's pretty holistic in the sense that it's nice to get a straight story of what's coming or what's happening, and then it's also nice to actually branch out a little bit and talk about where things can possibly go. Well, we train Grove City College students and faculty a little bit differently because we believe that teaching with technology is a little bit different than learning with technology. So we've been doing our one-to-one program for 20 years now. And what we typically do for incoming students is when the students move in on their first day on Thursday, typically it's a Thursday, we actually give them their first class. It's about 2 hours. So when we distribute the machines, it's actually in about 10 to 12 different classrooms with 10 to 12 instructors, where we hand them the device, the computer, and then we teach them how to take the battery out. They log in, set up their email. So we ensure that they're comfortable with the device before they start classes on Monday. Well, building a multimedia classroom is critical in the sense that it really depends on what you're trying to achieve in a blended learning environment. So there's always problems with screen size or multiple screens. So one size, as far as although a phone has a lot of technology in it, it's probably not the best device to be able to do a lot of things with. Yes, you can read on a phone, but you probably don't want to read extendedly on a phone. Or you don't want to type a paragraph on a phone. So when you look at how students use telephones, for example, texting is very short. They're tweeting or texting, and it's not long sustained type things. So although there might be multiple devices, what we try to look for is the one device that they can bring the class to do everything they need to do without having to pull out 3 or 4 or 5 different devices. So in our environment, what we feel is significant is when we bring their tablet PC, they have a lot of different modalities they can use. They have touch, they can type, and they can write because they have the pen as well. But then we can also use other applications where they can do polling and other things that you don't have to say, oh, I need a clicker, or I need this, or I need that. It keeps their environment clean. It keeps them concentrating on what the subject material is instead of worrying about what they have to do and how they have to do it. Technology absolutely has to be reliable in the sense that the end users that are using it don't want to feel as though they're being failed. So the chalkboard metaphor for a long time is what education is about. You take a piece of chalk and you write on the board. Chalk does break, but usually you have some spare chalk and it works. So what we do is we spend a lot of time making sure that the systems we put in are going to be very reliable. So we do not try to buy very cheap systems just because of cost. We want systems that are going to work and they're going to be reliable, which is one of the very reasons why we partner with companies like Hewlett-Packard, is that we know that those systems have multi-year warranties, that we know we're going to get support. We know that they work, we test them out thoroughly. For the most part, tech has been very, very reliable for us. So one of the things about implementing tablet PCs is it's just not an island unto itself. So you need really good software to bring out the best of what a tablet PC has to offer. So although we can use things like PowerPoint and OneNote to deliver content, it's really hard also to get content back from students. Applications like DynoVision are based on pedagogical type ideas. So it's really more about classroom management, keeping students on task and keeping them engaged. So for example, a lot of times you may use a PowerPoint presentation. Faculty may give students their PowerPoint presentations, but the majority of time students are slides ahead of what the faculty member is talking about because they've already read it. Applications like Dyno allow us to deliver that type using a PowerPoint slide, but deliver it that they only get the content that's being talked about at the time so they can't jump ahead. It allows them to do collaborative note-taking. So it's the faculty member who's giving them some notes. But they're also required to take their own notes. Because a lot of times if you look at students today, it's more like taking dictation than it is actually taking notes, because all they're worried about is capturing every word a faculty member says, and they lose the fact that they're to be learning during that time. There's a lot of enhancements in that synergy between the software and using that particular platform, such as a tablet PC, that really enhances how you teach, and also enhances a lot on how a student can learn both pre-class, during class, and post.